Hey guys, I thought I'd do something a little bit different than what I've previously been doing. This is a conversation with myself, and this will be basically story time with Davion Fuxa. So let's begin. Chapter 1. The room's temperature felt a little cold, or maybe that was just me. The coldness of the temperature feels nice on the skin though, in any case. Raising my eyelids, I looked around half-mindedly, began to stir for my bed. Before even pulling back the covers, I turn over on my right side and turn off the air conditioner. The fall equinox was only a couple of days ago, but the weather certainly hadn't yet to change over. I finally pulled back the covers and got out of bed, making my way to the computer room to systematically check the upload progress on my computer, before continuing to proceed downstairs to eat some Cheerios. A quick glance on the alarm clock showed that it was 8 a.m., uncommonly early for me to be getting up. On the way down, my grandmother confirms this by telling me that it's incumbent to get up before 10 a.m. In the kitchen, I see her at a small table eating her cereal of choice, oatmeal crisp. It looks like she already fed the cat, so I pick up the cat's dish and lay it in the sink to fill it with water. I continue over to the cupboards to take down the Cheerios along with a bowl and a small juice glass, and wait for my grandmother to finish. Open the fridge, I pull out some 1% milk for the cereal and the juice smoothie to pour and drink with while my grandmother slowly rises from the chair she's sitting in. As she left, I took the chair she was sitting in, poured some Cheerios, and added the milk, sprinkle some brown sugar from the Lazy Susan in front of me, pulled up the tablespoon from the drawer to my left, and began to eat my breakfast. This was where my usual morning routine ended. After eating breakfast, I went back to the computer room and sat back in a chair in front of my computer. Usually by now I would be watching some Japanese anime or playing a computer game, but today my head was full of ideas. These ideas were varied and plentiful, and I think if there was ever a time I should write a book or novel or story, now would be the time. I have thought about doing this before. Maybe I would write a fantasy novel, a war novel, a dystopian novel, and a combination of all three. But this time was different in that I was going to write this piece. This time I would open up Microsoft Word and put things to this keyboard to make the written work happen, because there's something happening. It had come out, these thoughts. I was inspired, or rather I'd been inspired for a long time, and now everything was just finally coming together. I cannot say what would make this time different. The farthest I'd ever gone in writing a book was just to jot down some ideas on a piece of paper before walking away, coming back and tossing the said paper out. I had once just opened up the Word file and typed a line before proceeding to close the application. Maybe it was because I was older. However, I refuse to believe that age has anything to do with me wanting to write a novel. Whether I was 19 or 84 should not have any bearing on what I commit to. Perhaps it was because I completed my bachelor's degree from university. While the time I suppose is right, all university would probably do is simply shape how I would write. So what was it? I do not know. But it did not really matter anyways. The fact was the lights were on in my head, and I committed to making this thing happen. Oddly enough, it was coming together fairly fast as well. I had already decided on the title, and even had a page down. Thoughts were swirling in my head, and I typed, along with the oscillating fan I had turned on earlier. Probably turned it on too high a setting, but the temporary gusting of air in my right arm felt good, and I knew if I turned it off it would feel hot and I would not be writing anymore. I do not know what I was writing, or rather I did. It is sort of hard to explain, but I had a general idea of the content I was going to be writing about. A stray thought also popped into my head about marketing, or rather several had. I should probably note that I majored in marketing and had a degree in commerce. The lectures and study from my time at university had a big influence on my thinking now. Even after I left, the topics and concepts are still developing in my head, and I knew that I had to pay heed to them. Thinking about marketing idea of what I was going to do had hit me. I could likely make some money with it, if it was popular enough, but how I would do so I had not decided yet. More importantly than money, I could also demonstrate or accomplish something for myself, or rather in regards to myself, but no. The marketing ideas had were not in regards to how I could profit from it. Even though it might be hard to think, my thoughts were not revolving around making money. They were sort of on a side thought in my head, but in relation to my thoughts on it, in any case, I had already decided how I was going to make money off of this, if at all. The first thing to note was that I was going to make access free for whoever want to view this. Or at least I was going to make it so that those who did not want to pay for a dime for it did not have to. I suppose in the minds of many that meant that I was not going to make more than a tip money then, but I do not think that would necessarily be a bad idea. Others have done that before. My written work may not exactly fit the exact product model of many other free blogs either, but people might have available, of course. But I know people I know people of conscience will donate money to things that entertain or interest them, regardless, or perhaps they'll throw money away at things just because it's the right thing to do. In any case, I was not necessarily looking to make money from this. In the reality of things, I might not make any money from this. However, I would give it a serious try to make some money though. For your thoughts on how I would go around putting together this work, there were a few other things that I had decided as well. Besides making this free to view, the second major thing I was going to do was record myself reading this work aloud and post it on YouTube. The reason for releasing it on YouTube was so that if people viewed the videos there, I could make some use of the monetization feature YouTube provides. This would open up additional sources of making money for myself, but also allow me to experiment with the function, as I had never made an original work before that I can monetize and make money from. In addition to the monetary reasons, I'd also hope to expand my channel to include more than just the games and review videos I've been doing. In respect to the fact that I would be monetizing my video, it would be in my best interest to attempt to regulate things so that they were not too long, and as to allow the videos to have more ads, but also I did not want to have them too short as to annoy people with the constant barrage of them. As such, I was aiming to peg my videos around 12 to 18 minutes with an average of around 15 minutes. The videos would be no less than 10 minutes and no more than 20. My written piece would likely be broken down into chapters. Depending on how much I was writing, it was likely I may break the chapters down even further themselves. The aim of this would be to allow me to write a chapter without constraining what I would need to write, while allowing me to attain the 12 to 18 minute times for reading my recordings. The content itself would mostly feature dialogue about my views, opinions, and thoughts, and other aspects regarding my life. However, I also plan to include post-commentary recordings in regards to my comments, criticisms, and replies that I might receive. Thus the name of the title, A Conversation with Myself. Hopefully this would make the videos more interesting to see if I reply to your comments in the next video, though I will note that there is no guarantee I will pursue this, as depending on the comments I may forego doing so, or if there's too few I may not have enough of the recording to really post anything. In light of the fact that I would be doing post-commentary videos, along with the fact that I would need time to write the chapters, I also plan to continue doing my other activities in life. I would need to consider the amount of time between releases of videos I record, and most likely I would be releasing these videos on a semi-monthly or monthly basis to account for my time concerns. Alright, this ends the, I guess the preface of what I'll be doing. I'll be doing a basically open dialogue that you can comment on. Feel free to give replies, comments, and any other criticisms that you may have about what I'm going to be doing. I'm basically going to be talking about myself and my life and my opinions, and you can share your thoughts with them or disagree with them or do whatever you want to. Anyhow, I figured it'd be interesting to do, so this is what I'll be doing semi-monthly, or maybe monthly depending on time concerns. And that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed.